What's up everyone and welcome back to HateWatchers. Today we are walking the plank with another episode of Skeleton Crew, episode 4 entitled Can't Say I Remember No At Attin. Let's get right into the breakdown. Spoilers ahead. We begin with the ship actually arriving at Attin, but after Nawood comments that he can't believe a female pilot got them here in one piece, Captain Ferngully banishes him from the cockpit. They descend to the planet's surface, but their droid Smee is tired of dealing with these kids and lets go of the controls as they plummet to the ground, screaming toward a fiery death. However, some automated landing system pulls them down onto the planet, which is a ghost town. But regardless, Wim can't wait to get to the playground. They charge Smee with babysitting Nawood while they explore some dilapidated homes on this planet that looks identical to theirs, and Wim, desperate for any kind of fun and adventure, starts playing with an ancient used bedpan. Back on the ship, Nawood watches a little space porn and then gets hungry enough to try and eat the money, but the droid catches the pervert.
We got a dirty thief on board. It's George.
Smee informs Nawood that this planet is called At Attin, and Nawood says it's funny that it's named At Attin when it looks more like At Cleveland, and then he gives Smee a reach around. The kids are looking around when they find a statue of Bashar al-Assad, before discovering that this is an active war zone when they get confronted by jihadi fighters. The fighters are French, but the kids don't speak frog, so communication is difficult. The fighters pull them aside to avoid an enemy patrol, but one of the fighters gets entranced by these space donkeys' asses. Then the fighters take the kids to an abandoned school, and they're brought before the French general, who plans to teach them the art of surrendering. When the kids ask about At Attin, the general feigns ignorance, but his daughter opens her big mouth and says something about the sanctum and the information it may hold. But General Frog says, "There's no time. These kids need to learn to be like us and practice planting the white flag like this." Back at the ship, Nawood is teaching Smee how to walk again after his overly aggressive reach around broke Smee's motivator, but they don't make it very far into the physical therapy before getting greeted by Christmas carolers. And Nawood says, "If you all are going to start singing, just shoot me." Meanwhile, the kids are practicing defending their porches from carolers, and they eagerly rush off to practice beating the corpses. The general's daughter pulls Neil aside to ask him if he gets his hair cut by a blind Wookiee, and then she drags him away by the trunk. She takes him to their shanty town on the roof, where Neil learns that their entire war is over these space donkeys and grain, which must be a reference to Rebel Moon. She shows Neil their secret weapon, and then he gets really awkward as he tells her about the feelings that came over him when she grabbed his trunk earlier. Wim is busy mastering all the different forms of firearms when the general waltzes up and tells them that they're being deployed to the front lines. Out in the field, General Frog instructs them on the ancient French art of walking right up to your enemy, close enough to see the whites of their eyes, and then whipping out the white flag of surrender. But his daughter knows that they'll need a real Frenchman to pull off the maneuver, so she decides to join them. Suddenly, out of the mist comes Nawood and Smee, and they've brought back their missing space donkeys, and the beast's collective gas blows Neil away. Nawood frees the kids, and Ferngully is speechless and wants to thank him, but he's like, "Get out of here. This moment is for the boys." Due to their bravery, the general's daughter, Frogette, agrees to take them to the sanctum, and on the way, Wim finds out that Nawood stole his lunch money, which he used to buy their freedom. Neil begs Frogette to come with them, but she says that she's not into trunk stuff, and it was a one-time thing, so she kisses him goodbye, and Neil experiences some shrinkage. They ascend in the spooky elevator to the top of the tower, which holds a bunch of plaques with critical information, but unfortunately, all of these kids ditched class, and none of them know how to read. It doesn't matter, however, because the plaque with At Attin's coordinates has been destroyed. Smee says, "Yeah, I did that the last time I was here." And everyone's stunned, and he mentions something about an ex who lives on At Attin and some unspeakable stuff she did to his wires. Ferngully runs off in tears as she starts to doubt her captaincy, and Wim tries to help, telling her that he heard a girl's first period can be rough. But Ferngully realizes she can reset the droid's memory, so she does and orders him to remember everything about At Attin. All the terrible memories of his ex come flooding back, and Smee prepares to tear the kids apart. But Nawood shuts him down just as Smee gets an inappropriate full mount on Neil, who can't handle everything that's happened to him today and he passes out as the episode comes to an end. Well, we've reached that point in the video where we have to decide if this episode was a great watch or a hate watch. But this is another debate watch for the same reason that the other 3 episodes have been debate watches. It's a somewhat entertaining adventure show, but it's for younger audiences, so I can't recommend it to you. And from now on, I'll probably leave this segment out of the videos if it's going to be the same deal week after week. So you can assume each episode is a debate watch, but if we do get a hate watch for some reason, I'll let you know. I will say that the main point of interest for this show, the mystery about the kids' home planet At Attin, got a lot deeper after this episode. Seeing an identical planet, one of the other lost jewels of the Old Republic, and what's happened since, assumedly, the government and society on At Attin collapsed, has only brought up a ton more questions about this central mystery. Some of the ragtag soldiers on this planet are clearly wearing old Imperial gear, and it looks like whatever happened here happened a long time ago, before the fall of the Empire, which at this point is 5 or 6 years in the past. I'm also starting to wonder if these planets were experimental zones, like the vaults from Fallout. So a lot of questions and not many answers, but it's all only piqued my interest in what's really going on even more. At least as much as a show like this can grab my interest. I definitely wouldn't have stuck around this long without it taking place in the Star Wars universe. On a technical level, there was a bit of character development for Fern and Neil to be found in this episode. But as far as the story goes, this episode was far shorter than you would think one about the kids exploring a new planet with an ongoing civil war would be. It simply wasn't as fleshed out as it deserved to be, or enough to really explore the conflict this planet is experiencing and how the planet got to this point. But the kids are still on the planet, so maybe they're not done here yet. But I assume in the next episode, they'll travel to one of the other planets they found coordinates to and try and further unravel the mystery. We'll just have to wait till next week to see. Now that we're halfway through the season, are you watching the show at all? Does the mysterious nature of the kids' planet at least interest you? Let us know in the comments below. Also remember to like the video and subscribe to HateWatchers to stay up to date on Skeleton Crew. Thank you for exploring the embarrassment of shrinkage with us today, and we'll catch you on the next one.